through the door. I'm talking cash flow. And if you know like I know, you getting cash flow. Prove what? Getting money, never losing no. But I'm broke, but now I'm living at it. They just count my zeros and some decimals.
And I wish you would try to test me, yo. You should listen to the lesson, no. Masterminds out of Mexico. I invested though when I let it grow.
Regiments I got a pocket full. Raise your income and your taxes low. Spend it right and then invest some more. And if you don't believe me, it's my Dr. Dome.
What you mean? You mean Uncle G? Planting seeds for these money trees. Who got my money, please? Everywhere you wanna be, like Visa, MasterCard, American Express. I bought the bank and I bought the jets.
I buy apartments, I send checks.
Hey, welcome, Grant Cardone here, and welcome to the 10X Money Challenge. In the next 5 days, I'm gonna take you with a bunch of my friends. I got Kevin O'Leary tonight. We got Sharon Lechter tomorrow night, the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Wednesday night, Magic Johnson came up from nothing. What he did in basketball is nothing compared to what he did in business. Then we have Jordan Peterson, Thursday night. Friday, Stormy Wellington's here this week. She makes about $20 million a year, a young black woman that came from nothing, beat up her whole life and turned it around. This week, we're gonna take you, I'm gonna show you, ladies and gentlemen, how I would go from zero to $1 million as fast as possible. People say you can't get rich quick. I say I'm gonna show you how to get rich as quick as humanly possible without you getting old, tired, and wrinkled.
Well, we know for sure.
I got my right-hand man, Jared Glant, here. Before Jared, you get involved, let me just introduce myself to the 246,000 people that signed up for this that may not even know who I am. Grant Cardone, author of 8 books, 13 best-selling business programs. I have worked for some of the largest companies in the world. I just finished doing a stint on Undercover Billionaire, Discovery Channel. I went from zero to $5.5 million. Discovery documented the entire 90-day effort. They asked me if I could go to $1 million in 90 days with only $100. I said, I guarantee you I can do it. I'll bet you $1 million I can do it. I didn't know COVID was gonna come. I didn't know 40 million people were gonna be let out of work, but I did know that I knew the systems. Okay, the systems, what exactly would I need to do? I didn't need money, I didn't need a name, I didn't need fame, and I didn't need social media. I went from zero to $5.5 million, and Discovery Channel was nice enough to spend a lot of money, time, and effort to document my progress and process to do that. I also own a couple companies. I own a company that's done over $1 billion worth of products and service sales over the internet. I'm also want to proudly say one of my great accomplishments is I was raised by a single mother, had a drug problem when I was 15 to 25. I'm not proud of that one, but I am proud that I overcame it. I was broke at 25 years old, $40,000 worth of debt. Today I own $3 billion worth of real estate. I got about 13 million people that follow me along social media. I got friends all over the world, people that do business with us all over the world in 180 countries. And I'm just really proud to have a lot of friends. Founder and creator of a thing called the 10X movement. If you've ever seen people rocking a 10X t-shirt or a 10X hat, you want to move this stuff over so they can see it? 10X hat or 10X t-shirt. I got a big social media following, but most importantly, we got a lot of engagement on YouTube. We're a major influencer on YouTube with 1.4 million followers, about 3.4 million followers on Instagram. Hundreds of millions of engagements on a monthly basis, without exaggeration. And I came from, the thing I'm most proud about, I came up from nothing. And today, my dad died when I was 10 years old. He was very, very interested in money for his family. He wanted to take care of his family, and he thought one day he could be a millionaire. Unfortunately, my dad died before he got there, and I was 10 years old, and I've been trying to learn and understand the money game. So, welcome, thank you for being here. If it's the first time you've ever done anything with me, let me know in the chat. You're watching on Zoom or Instagram or Facebook. If not, maybe you've been following me for a while. Look, I'm here to help you guys. And I do deals today. I do things today that are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. I just closed a transaction last Monday. It was $185 million. And I'm proud of that and everything, but the thing I'm most proud of is to help. If I could help 185 people make $1 million, that would make me more proud than doing one deal at $185 million. And that's what we want to do this week, okay? I'm going to put together a full 90-day challenge. Where this is going to go, you're like, why are you doing this? Because over the next 90 days, I'm going to put together a challenge starting this week. This is for free. A 90-day challenge to take a group of people from zero or wherever you are. We're just going to zero wherever you are, and we're going to see who can get to $1 million as fast as possible. Then I'm going to bring you to our annual conference where hundreds of thousands of people will see you, and I'm going to show you off on our stage and say, this cat, this lady, this guy, this girl, this kid, this old man, this old woman went from zero to $1 million in 90 days, okay? If you don't want to do $1 million, if that's too small for you, I'm with you. Let's go to 10 million. I've done that. If you're doing 10 million, I can show you how to get to 100. That's called It's called
a hectamillionaire.
Hectamillionaire. I've done that. And if you want to go from 100 million to $1 billion, by the way, I killed a Billy. I used to hunt a Billy. I used to be a Billy hunter. Now I'm a Billy killer. And I want to if you want to do that, I'll do it with you, okay? Tonight we're going to have Kevin O'Leary on. First, I want to talk to you about the three things that you have to undo. Jared, you wanted to say something first.
Yeah, no, I just want to say that, thank you guys first and foremost for being here. Everybody backstage in VIP, what's up? Glad to have you guys here. Thanks for being here. We're going to do a little bonus session for you guys at the end of the day today. What we're going to be doing over the next 7 days, we have a workbook that we put together for. So if you haven't had the opportunity to get the workbook yet, you can still grab that at grantcardone.com/workbook. We have some amazing swag packages that we're going to be giving away every single day. It's got a hat, it's got some wristbands, it's got a bunch of cool 10X stuff in here that we'll be sending that out. We're going to be giving this stuff away for people throughout the day. So first thing that we'll be giving these away for will be sharing the stream today. So whatever platform you're on, if you have the ability to share, we're going to be going through every one of these and sharing and checking who shared, and we're going to be giving away 20 of these swag bags. We'll be mailing it out to you. They're worth about $150. So go ahead and share this stream. Get people on here. We're going to be talking about money. This will be the largest financial education event that happens this entire year with the amount of people that are going to be on this. And we believe that we can create a movement that could overcome governments, politics, wars, by giving people the ability to produce. So thank you so much for being a part of this. 7 days straight here. We're going to get started. At the end of the day today, we're going to give you guys a brief homework assignment to prepare you for tomorrow. So sit back, relax. G.
Yeah, thank you, Jared.
Money.
Thank you. Jared's been with me for 10 years now. He came aboard when he was 25 years old. He was broke. My goal wasn't to give him a job and an opportunity. My goal was to give him a job and opportunity and make sure he creates wealth. So if you have a place to take notes, maybe you already have our workbook, okay? Number one, most important, 3 things you have to do with the money game. And like any target, number one, how you doing? Robert, how you doing?
No,
Good.
this is Mr. Craig Stutnicki.
Oh, Mr. Craig. Craig, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. So I got guests coming in here right now. One of the biggest real estate groups in the world is in the room right now. One of the most respected groups in the world. Related, right?
Related.
I've been wanting to do business with you guys for years, man. Maybe one day.
Well, no, you never know.
Okay?
You never know.
So look, on the money game, the first thing you need to know is you got to make a commitment, okay? So your commitment, and I always say this, commitment, when there's a lack of commitment, when you give up on the possibility, nothing happens without the decision, the commitment. Money is not about paper. It's not about the accumulation. It's not about math first. It's not about actually where money comes from, currency, whether there's a shortage or not. It's not about debt or earning. Number one, most important, like any target, you have to make a commitment. Not to earn money, okay? Not to have a good job. You all have that. Not to pay the bills. The commitment needs to be to the target of how much money is enough money. So many things, and I want you to know this, many things that's holding you back from the money game is not what you don't know, it is what you do know. So anytime I am trying to clean my system, okay, I want to add fruits and vegetables. I got my buddy Jonathan that's probably on Clubhouse right now listening to this. He's so worried about how to clean it up. I'm like, bro, before you put something good in, all you holistic guys and gals out there, before you put something good in, you need to get a colonic. You need to get an enema. You need to clean out what's already in your system, okay? And that's really, really important with the mind as well. Money is a mental game, okay? Like any target, getting the right person in your life, getting the right health, getting the right family, okay? Most of this stuff is mental first. And so the first thing I would have you do is get rid of those things that are blocking you from having what you want. So real quick, we're just gonna go through, and I know we're gonna spend the whole night on this, right? On the money limitations.
Yep.
But if you were brought up like me, see, I had a commitment to a job. Guess what I got? A job. Then when I had a commitment to making more money, guess what I got? More money. What I didn't have was a commitment to freedom, financial freedom, okay? So the target here, we're gonna talk about $1 million target. But really, once you get to $1 million, you're gonna realize that's no money. My goal for you is $1 million in the shortest period of time possible. If you can't get rich quick, I wanna get rich as quick as possible. I wanna then keep it, and then I wanna multiply it. So make a commitment right now. I'm gonna become a millionaire. That's all you gotta do. Write it down, jot it down. I'm gonna become a millionaire. If that's too small a number, I'm gonna become a
10 millionaire.
10 millionaire. That's not enough.
Decamillionaire.
I'm gonna become a hectamillionaire. That's not enough. I'm gonna become a billionaire. There is no number that you can write that's too small or too big. Okay, it's all a fantasy anyway. So is being broke. If you can be broke, you can be rich. A man told me that one day, and it just changed my whole life. I was broke, I was in debt, and he says, son, if you can be broke, you can get rich. And I was like, huh? He's like, if you can live broke, because that takes a lot of creativity. Okay? You're having to figure out how to hustle everything. If you can figure out how to live broke, all you got to do is change your mind and make a decision to get rich. It is easier to be successful. I said this on Undercover Billionaire. It is hard to live on this planet with money. It's almost impossible without it. But then how much is enough money? Let's face it. Look, everybody in the room, everybody listening to this, everybody watching right now, you will make $1 million in your lifetime. The thing that we got to take out of this lifetime is how long it takes to get to 1 million or 10 million or 1 billion. What you want to do is reduce, if this is when you're a baby and this is when you die, what you want to do is you want to reduce the time that you have your money, so your target needs to include an amount and it needs to include a time, okay, so that I can actually enjoy it. Take time out of the equation, make a commitment to having a certain amount of money, income, okay? This needs to be your commitments. Commitments to income. Number 2, commitments to wealth. And number 3, commitments to passive income, money you don't work for, which brings me to the second and third piece here, okay? Number 2, money is infinite. Unlike what your parents told you, there is no shortage of money on planet Earth. There's never been a shortage of money on this planet. Why? Because money is manufactured. It is really, really important for people without getting involved in the Federal Reserve and when they took it off the gold backing and the president that did none of that really matters. At the end of the day, if you want to create true, unbelievable, amass wealth for yourself and your family, whatever your intentions are. Maybe your intentions are to buy Patek watches, Gucci belts, Chanel bags, and show off to the whole world because you want this big castle and show it off. Maybe that's your goal. Or maybe your goal is to, I don't need any of the money. I'd like to create the wealth and start solving problems of the world. Maybe you're one of those people like, hey, I'd like to put my wife in a Chanel purse or bag and shoes. And I'd like to help the world. And by the way, I don't care whether I got a bunch of old blue jeans, a beat up belt, and beat up blue boots. Okay? Maybe you want to live on a ranch somewhere. You just want to take care of your food, your water, your cattle. You want some bison. I don't know what your dream is. I know this. It's going to take money. Whatever your dream is, there's not a dream that exists on this planet. I just want to be happy. You cannot be happy without money. You could be psychologically imbalanced. If you are happy and broke, okay, you figured out something that nobody on this planet can figure out. Because if you're happy and you know you can't pay for dinner tonight, something's wrong with you, okay? Because if you're hungry, you cannot be happy. If your family members can't pay for food, if you're worried about how to get food in the refrigerator for your family, if you're worried, you're not happy. If you're scared, you're not happy. So let's not confuse anybody here. Money is infinite If you don't have as much as you want, you clearly have a problem with money. If you're worth $1 billion, if you know you have the potential to be a billionaire and you don't have it, you have a problem. And that problem can be solved as long as you recognize that you have a problem or a limitation. The alcoholic never gets help until they admit, I got a problem. The drug addict, I got a problem. The scarce thinker, okay, the poor, the middle class, people living below their potential, their financial potential, they cannot get better if they think they know it all. If you're comfortable, okay, you will not see in infinite amounts. You will see your sofa, your air condition. You will make sense of being grateful for the things and surroundings that you have. It's only when I get around other people that are doing better than I am that I realize I can do more. You are infinite. You have phenomenal amounts of potential. And so this little sign right here is like, that means I have more potential. Money is created, it is manufactured. $7 trillion was printed in the last, I think, 9 months. The guests I'm going to have tonight, Kevin O'Leary, tomorrow night, Sharon Lechter, Wednesday night, Magic Johnson. These people are infinite thinkers, massive. Those aren't big thinkers. They're thinking infinite. Through careers, they transition. They can't play basketball anymore, and they're like, I'm going to do another deal. This is the phenomenal people. Elon Musk sells PayPal, triples, doubles, puts every penny into 3 other companies, explodes all 3 companies, makes them bigger. He's bigger today than he was PayPal. He had thought he hit his height, or everybody else did, and he's like, nah, I'm going to go do SpaceX, okay? I'm going to do Tesla, and I'm going to do solar. Took on 3 of the biggest challenges in the world, and he's freaking top of the game, okay? So why? Because he's an infinite thinker, not a scarce thinker. So I got Kevin O'Leary tonight. I got Sharon Lechter tomorrow night. I got Magic Johnson. Jordan Peterson, big thinker, big, giant thinker, helping millions of people think bigger, to confront their responsibility, accountability, discipline issues so that they can have everything they want. And then we're going to end it with Chris Voss, who shows you how to negotiate to everything you want in your life. Maybe many of you have heard this before. You don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. The third thing is earning versus wealth, and I'll bring up Kevin O'Leary tonight and talk a lot about this. There is a massive difference between what you earn and whether or not you create wealth or not. Everybody, most people, not everybody, but most people earn money, okay? Median income in America today is $58,000. $58,000 is the median income in America, okay? And that is earned income, okay? If you're in the top 1%, you earn $440,000 a year. That is earned income, okay? If you earn $440,000 and you live in New York, you end up with $220,000. This person is in the top 1% and they're still broke. They live in New York City, Silicon Valley, anywhere in California. They live in Illinois, Chicago, right there, downtown Chicago. You make $440,000 a year. The government takes half of it. You got $220,000. You live in Miami, you barely have any money. You buy 1 condo and you're broke. You're in debt. You're backwards. You have 1 big emergency in your lifetime. You have 1 big event. Your son goes to a treatment center for drug addiction. It's $60 grand. It's not covered, okay? You buy a condo, you're wiped out. You got a rehab kid, you're wiped out. You have a car wreck, you have a lawsuit, okay? You buy anything, you're broke again. That's called earned income. The wealthy, the very, very small percentage of people, I'm not talking about the 1%, I'm talking about the 1% of the 1%. They know how to go from screw the earned income. They want passive income, and they want the big W, because passive income, recurring passive income, is what creates W's, wealth. So while this challenge is about how to get $1 million as fast as possible, the truth is this is just a precursor, a starter, a warm-up for you to create wealth in your life, true wealth. And the word wealth comes from well. Okay, those that create wealth are well. They get well. And for you to be well, truly, and we're talking a lot right now about people's health, the vaccine. We're talking about COVID. People are concerned about their health right now. But look, if you got your health and you can't feed yourself organic foods, you can't, get some of these things that may be alternatives to keep yourself healthy. You can't get out in the sun, can't go on a vacation. If you're worried every second, shocks me how few people are paying attention to how many people are depressed right now, how suicide rates have gone up, how kids aren't as happy. Like there's literally studies saying that kids are not as happy today as they were 2 years ago because they're not out and about. They're not going to school. They're not socializing. They're scared. They're wearing masks. People are terrified right now. So what I want, and when I talk about wealth, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about freedom to go where I want, do what I want with who I want. True wealth is, I don't want to do business with you. Somebody mistreats me. See, this should be on your bucket list. If you're an infinite thinker, a big thinker, a giant thinker. I used to not know why I wanted $1 million. I wanted $1 million because it was a target. It was just the first target. But once you start accumulating, and unfortunately there's very few people that actually share wealth data with you. This week I'm going to be sharing that with some champions of wealth creation with you. Don't miss any night this week. Give yourself 1 hour every week. I promise you it's going to be great for you, okay? It's going to be a game changer. I did not know when I was 32 years old and had my first $1 million what to do with it. I realized I had $1 million and I went into fear. I didn't want to collect $1 million to be scared. I didn't know how to keep it and I didn't know what to do with it. And now I had this new responsibility. You new parents out there, you're all joyful about a kid. And then you're like, oh, wow, this comes with some responsibility, This is not for amateurs, but you are an amateur. And the same thing with money, new money. You're an amateur. Most people go broke with their money. Most lottery owners lose it all. Why? Because they didn't know how they earned it. They got lucky. They don't know how to keep it. We'll be talking about this week. How do I keep it? Where do I keep it? What do I do with it? How do I not lose it? And the number 3 thing, the thing that very, very few people ever learn, how do I get my money to multiply? Wealth creators think in terms of infinite and X's. They think in terms of this. How do I multiply money, not add and subtract? You're adding and subtracting that you are so good at. 4 plus 4 is, of course you know the answer. 4 times 4 is, it gets a little complicated. Everybody becomes a little less sure, okay? 4 plus 4 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. Money multiplies faster than it can be added and subtracted. 1 penny, your daddy told you, a penny saved is a penny earned, but a penny multiplied every day, a penny doubled every day for 30 days is $5.3 million in 30 days. Wouldn't that be cool? So you got to learn how to multiply and think like an infinite thinker, think like a wealth builder, and that's what we'll be doing this week, setting you up for $1 million challenge. If you're committed, post it in comments. This wealth thing right here is going from you earning income that is taxed to having passive income that is untaxed and that can grow forever, okay? I want to give you a little thing before I bring O'Leary in here. He's a good friend of mine, big thinker, thinks in wealth. He's on CNBC almost every day talking money, chopping up money with the money boys. He's making great investments, and he's going to tell you tonight, you can make more on one investment than you can earn. You can make more on one investment than you could ever make in a lifetime. Wealth is created by investing, not by earning. So over the next 7 days, we need to get you guys from being earners, think in terms of earners, to wealth builders, to investors, okay? Notice that when I did Undercover Billionaire, if you haven't seen that, you can see it at Discovery Plus. It's completely, I think it's $6. Discovery Plus is an app. I think it's $6.95. You can download the app. 13 episodes sit up there. You can watch the 13 episodes, and you're literally going to watch this guy named Lewis Curtis. Strongly recommend watching this guy. Great shape. Okay, you can see his workout routine every day. Guy's shaved, got a bald head, nice beard, very masculine individual, confident. Lewis Curtis from Los Angeles, California, went to Pueblo, Colorado, $0. No family, no friends, no social media, no credit card, $100, and turn it into a $5.5 million business during COVID, okay, without a contact. That's real. That guy documented. Real dude, no social media, no Facebook. All you guys that spend all your time on Facebook and Instagram, this guy made $5.5 million business that's still up and running today, a year later, okay, with no contacts, no names, no reputation, without a credit card or a credit score. You know why? Because he knew the difference between earning money. He never earned a penny the entire time he was there, by the way. Imagine this. Never spent a second trying to earn money. For any of you that saw that show, if you haven't seen it, go see it. For those of you who saw it, you might want to go back and watch it. And you might want to watch that this guy, Lewis Curtis, never earned one penny. I know because I filed taxes for him. And he didn't earn a penny on that show. All of it was created for an LLC, a wealth building entity. Okay, because this guy, Lewis Curtis, knew, hey, skip earning money and go straight to other credible, able, willing people in the marketplace that will invest with you and give you a wealth vehicle.
Some people are asking who this Lewis Curtis guy is.
This guy, Lewis Curtis, is
It was you.
It was me. It was Lewis Curtis, also AKA Grant Cardone, Undercover Billionaire. And the goal there was to go undercover and prove to people that you don't need a name and you don't need money to create $1 million net worth. And we did $5.5 million. How are you going to go from you can't go out and earn $5 million in 90 days. Okay? There's just no way to do that. There's no way somebody's going to give you 5.5. But you could build $5 million worth of wealth in 90 days. You understand? So if you're trying to pick up money, it's like robbing a bank. You could rob the bank, but how do you get it home? You could catch Moby Dick, but how do you get him into the car? Into the boat, not the car. Okay. In Miami, we use our cars for boats. But you understand? Everybody wants this big dream, but they don't know how to bring it home. And we've seen that in bank robberies before. They robbed a bank and can't get it to the next place. What's his name had that problem? The drug dealer. Pablo Escobar. His biggest problem was, man, the guy had big think. He just didn't know where to put all his cash. Okay? So like, you got to bring it home, folks. It is easier to bring wealth home than it is earnings. Most of us, if you're anything like me, you spent your entire career earning money and never learning how to create wealth. Number one, write this down, 3 things, and then I'm going to invite my friend Kevin O'Leary in to talk to us, to give us his angle on the fastest way to get to $1 million. Number one, 3 things you got to know about money, okay? And we'll dig in deep this week. Number one, you got to earn it. You got to get it. How do I get it? How do I get some? Redneck in me just like, get some. Number 2, how do I keep it once I get it? This is what Mike Tyson violated. Eminem violated, well, almost went bankrupt. Who else violated this? Big earners.
Yeah, I mean,
endless list. Ball players, rappers. Number 3, most people never learn this one. Jay-Z learned it. He learned how to get it. He learned how to keep it. He learned how to elevate it. And then he learned how to multiply it. And that's why he killed $1 billion. You're not going to kill $1 billion or $100 million earning money. You're going to do it because you learned how to create wealth and get money to multiply. The third thing is the thing that all of us here, all of us that want to create wealth for ourselves, for whatever reason, for your family, for yourself, for your reputation, for your ego, for the boat, whatever it is, to create real wealth, you need to learn how to multiply. Let's get Mr. Kevin O'Leary here. If he's around, I'd love to bring him in. This guy is a super stud. You've seen him on CNBC. You see him on ABC. You see him on, God dang, where is he not? He's everywhere. One of the best.
They just finished shooting the next season.
They finished the shooting. Jared's telling me he is definitely the best looking shark of all the sharks. He is the smartest shark of all the sharks. He is the best investor of all the sharks. And he is my friend, Kevin O'Leary. Good to see you here, my friend.
Great to be here, Grant. Really great.
Yeah. So Kevin, thanks for taking your time. I appreciate it. Always good. You know, I always enjoy chopping it up with you. What do you say, Kevin, is the difference between the earner and the investor?
There's a few rules that I've observed over 30 years of investing where people make big mistakes and also are very successful because they avoid them. The earner learns how to take a portion of what they earn and invest it. And I'll tell you a story that I like to tell that I learned from my mother. Way back, she was not, a analyst or portfolio manager or anything like that. She used to take 20% of her income when she worked in a clothing factory, and she bought telco bonds and she bought S&P 500 stocks that paid dividends. And she had that portfolio for 52 years.
Wow.
But back in those days, the bonds earned 6 to 7%. She liked telco bonds because she thought people turned their heat off rather than not be able to talk to each other. Back in those days, in the late 50s and 60s, with telephones, you had to pay your bill. And telco bonds were safe as banks. And that's what happened. So over that 52 years, she kept that a secret account from both of her husbands. She'd been married twice. And I learned about all this after she passed away. I'm the older brother, and my younger brother, Shane. I got a call from the executor, of the estate, and was passing that to me, a lawyer, and said, "You got to come down here. Your mother died a very wealthy woman." I said, "No way. We're a middle-class family." He said, "Way. Get down here and see this portfolio. 52 years of compound dividends and interest. She only ever took out what the interest or the dividend was. She never touched the principal."
Right.
I always wondered, where'd she have all this cash to put me through college and help extended family members? It wasn't that she was frugal. It was just she took that 20% earnings and she didn't buy crap. She invested it. And that was the difference. And so many people today don't have that basic instinct to take some portion of what they earn and invest it, because the market gives you 7 to 8% year in, year out. Some years are different, but it consistently does that your entire life.
So Kevin, what was it worth? You got to tell me what it was worth. You can't keep me hanging like this, man.
No, she died. I won't say that because I've told the story so many times, but it was one poop load of money.
Yeah. Well, you got to
text
that
with it, because
text
I
me the
was
number.
very
I won't tell
fortunate
anybody.
that time. I'd already had some great liquidity, so I distributed it to, some of my family members that had not learned the rule of saving and investing.
So Kevin, would you rather be, just for this conversation, you and I didn't plan any of this, we're just talking here. So would you rather be a big earner or a small investor?
Small investor all day long.
Uh-huh.
I mean, compound investing, the way to look at it, I have this thing called know your nut, Grant. Listen to this. And I do this with really wealthy people too. Know your nut. You don't need a computer. You don't need a phone. You don't need anything. You need a piece of paper and a pencil. Listen to this. I asked them, just show me all of your income over a 90-day period, and on another sheet of paper, what you spend in that 90-day period. I don't want computers. I just want you to think about how you make it. And even really wealthy people spend beyond their means. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. The boats, the cars, the girls, the restaurants, all the stuff that they're burning cash on that they're not putting back into the market. And the whole idea is that you got to start thinking about what happens when you turn 60 and 65. You got to start putting money away and build that nut, that nest egg. If you don't know your nut, you're going to go bankrupt. That's what's going to happen, or you're going to end up with nothing when you're old because you're burning more cash than you got.
Yeah, and Kevin, would you rather earned income or passive income?
Passive income.
Uh-huh. See, because I hear some people say, I heard one guy say, a big social media guy, no such thing as passive income. I'm like, I got $1 million of that last month. If it's not real, I don't know how it got to my account because I didn't trade time for it. And
I think the philosophical way to look at this is when you have money working for you all night long, you're sleeping, and it's out there doing its thing, either giving you interest or a dividend, or it's in a capital that is growing because you're invested in a business. That was money. You had two choices. You could have spent it on something like, cars or something, and just pissed it away. Or you put it to work in the market, which is making you 7 to 8% in perpetuity, and sometimes more. And so it's really about having the discipline to put money aside. I'm very fortunate now. I've invested in a lot of good businesses, and most of my wealth is because I invested in things that became more valuable in sometimes very short periods of time. And I don't need to work. I do it because I like to, but I don't waste money. I know my nut. I know exactly what I burn. And I never burn more than I'm bringing home. Never.
And then, so when you buy the red watch, or what are you wearing today?
Oh, thank you for bringing that up. This is a steel blackface Daytona with a red band. I just got back from shooting Shark Tank. It's one of my favorite Shark Tank watches.
Okay. So
By the way, this watch is up, Grant, just so you know, since I bought it, 114%. I know that.
Yeah, but it's not up because you're not going to sell it. So what does it matter?
No, I know, but I mean, my portfolio of watches is an asset class to me. It's like buying art, and I mark to mark my portfolio of watches. I'm anal about it every night. I look at what my watch collection's worth.
Yeah.
Now, my wife thinks I'm nuts when I bring home another watch and I show her my portfolio. It's not going to be for me. My son thinks he's going to get these, but I've told everybody and in my family, I'm burying all these watches in my casket with me because I'm going to need them where I'm going.
Where time does not exist. So now, if you're 25 years old, let's take Kevin O'Leary, 25. You're not on Shark Tank. Nobody knows you. You don't have a name. Would you have your attention today? You wouldn't be buying Rolexes, right?
No.
Okay.
This is a luxury that I can afford today, and it's a disease. Watch collecting is a disease.
1,000%. What kind of principles would you have? First of all, do you believe it's real if you were 25 and broke, whether you live in Canada or America, that you could become a millionaire in America today?
Yeah, I did that. It's exactly what I did. I didn't become a millionaire in Canada. I moved to Boston years ago.
That's good.
And I worked real hard. But, I had that discipline back then. I didn't want to be an employee. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to work for people. Never could. Always got fired. I just can't do it. And so I started my own business, and I worked like hell. And we sold it for $4.2 billion. That was years ago in Boston. And that was my first, crack at the whip, if you want to call it that. And then I retired for 3 years, went around the world, lived everywhere. I got back to work. And, I've been very fortunate since then. I've had many winners and many losers. But the point is, you got to believe in yourself, and you got to focus on investing. You got to put capital to work and let it grow.
Yeah. But let me ask you this, Kevin.
Yeah,
in the beginning, though, like how important is it for the individual to make a commitment, not just to a job, doing a good job, getting better at their job, but okay, I'm going to create wealth for myself. Is that an important step to make?
It's the most important step. And the way you do that is you have the discipline to put aside between 10 and 20% of I don't care if you make 50 grand. Mm-hmm. If you make 52,500 is the average income in America. You take 10% of that each month and you invest it in the market, the stock market, an index. I don't care what you buy. Uh-huh. And by the time you're 65 years old, you will have about $1.5 million in the bank, and that's your nest egg. That's if you do nothing else except save 10%. You have to have the discipline of doing that, but I tell everybody that all the time. Now, you may do much better, but if you just let the market do its thing and you have the discipline not to spend that money, everybody can save 10% of what they're making.
Yeah.
Everybody. They just don't have the discipline to do it. And if you don't do that, I don't care if you're 40 years old, you got to start doing that. The market's a wonderful thing, Grant. It's a wonderful thing. I live with it every day.
Yeah.
I put money to work.
What do you like better, the real estate that I invest in or the stock market that you talk about every day?
I do both. I have a pretty big real estate holdings.
How big is it?
Well, it's 31% of the portfolio. Right now, it's a little less because I've invested in a bunch of other stuff too.
Yeah.
But it's always the core. I own a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
Now, real estate is a wonderful thing, but it can cost you money if it's just land. It can cost you money if it's residential and you're not renting it out. But it's an asset class that has never let America down ever. So you want to own some land, you want to own some buildings, you want to own some apartments. You can do all that, and you do that well. But that's a 30%. That's a third. That's a good nut. I do a lot of other things too.
Yeah.
But real estate,
You're a sophisticated guy. I'm just a simple man.
No, but listen, I love real estate.
You're the one that knows. You know how you know when somebody's sophisticated? When they know how to read the French wines. We were having dinner over at Surf Club, and I said, Kevin, I can't read this wine list. Can you? And he's like, ew, how do you say it? How do you do all your French and stuff?
No, the Chevalier de Testament. That's what I am.
That's when you know.
I know
you're-
wines. I sell wines. I've got a pretty big wine business. I've got 3,000 acres in California and Sonoma and Walla Walla Valley that I own or lease. I make wine. I mean, that's my whole thing. But, I'll tell you something, Grant. The whole idea is putting aside money for yourself. That's the key. That's the key. It's so important. It's like everything.
Yeah, if you go back to the 1920s when the big collapse, what was that called? The Great Depression. If you look at what the wealthy were doing at that time, as much as 40% of their income was going to investing and saving. Are you already drinking today? Dang, man,
That's a little tea.
You got the life. So that I saw that. I went and studied wealthy people back for the last 80 years. And I'm like, these people are packing away 20%, in bad times 40%, but they weren't just saving in the bank. They were doing what your mom was doing, buying things that paid a dividend. How do people invest today when all these dividend stocks are gone? AT&T pays nothing, General Motors pays nothing, the banks pay 0.0012%. What would you be invested in for those that want income on a monthly basis?
So I use the ETF market, exchange traded funds. Actually, I don't buy individual stocks. I find ETFs, there's many of them out there. Right now, the S&P 500 is paying about 1.8% dividend yield, but it's also appreciating in value 7-8% a year. Sometimes the last couple of years, much better than that. So, there's so many of them. They're inexpensive, and you can download an app on your phone to do it. There's so many of those. Here's the difference. Right now, a bank account, a savings account, is yielding 21 basis points. That's 0.21%. Inflation is 2.2%. You're making nothing. You're losing 2% a year in a bank. Now, people think, oh, that's safe. I can put my money in a bank. But I don't think it's that safe because it's losing 2% a year in value. Either you buy real estate or you buy stocks. You have to buy assets.
Yes.
You got to decide what you're going to do. I prefer assets because I learned from my mother that produce some kind of interest or dividend. I live off the yield and the dividends. I never touch the investment. I don't sell it. I've owned these things for decades. And then each month, I know my nut. I know exactly what I'm going to bring in, and I have the discipline not to spend more than I'm bringing in every month. It's a very simple philosophy on life. The more you make, the more of a lavish lifestyle you can have, but you never touch the principle. And if you can, pay down your debts, because you got to be debt-free by the time you're 60 years old.
So you're saying you live off the dividend or the passive income, not the earned income. Am I right? You don't
It's the passive income. I take that earned income after tax and I invest it.
Right. So you take your earned income.
And that's how I grow my nut.
Yeah. So your earned income is the money you invest.
Yeah.
And the passive income is the money you can buy the Rolex with.
Exactly. And I know my nut. Every month I mark to market what I own. I see the cash coming in on the passive investments. I know what I can buy in a watch. I got an expensive wife. I got to take care of her. So all of this stuff, we got a bunch of houses. I love real estate. I got to pay for all those too and maintain them. But I know my nut. I never spend more than I'm bringing in. I learned that from my mother when I was 18 years old. And I've never, ever gone over what I make bringing in. That's a really bad outcome. Really bad.
Last thing before we go to our VIPs and we do a little Q&A and let those guys ask you questions. What advice would you have the person out there that's out there that's like, man, I could never be a millionaire. I'll never be wealthy. I'll never get rich. Those times are over. The opportunities are over. They're gone. What advice would you give that person?
That's simply not true. That's simply not true. It's just not true that you don't die a millionaire. You have to have every person listening right now can be a millionaire. I say $1.5 million if they just took 10% of what they make on an average salary and put it away. You start when you're 22 years old. It's the hardest part, and I teach my kids this too. The hardest part is don't buy crap. You don't need 15 pairs of jeans. You don't need 40 sneakers. You don't need a lot of crap you bought. That should be in the market making money for you. That's the whole idea. And that's the hardest part. But Everybody can die a millionaire if they learn to put aside 10% in the market. Not a savings account. That's not going to do it for you.
Yeah.
21 basis point ain't going to work. Either you buy real estate or you buy stocks and bonds. They've both been good investments for 200 years.
And how much, last thing, is how much do you think is enough? Like, what should people's real target be to be truly wealthy, financially free? Do you think there's a number that gets you there?
It's your lifestyle decision. You can live off $1.5 million if you're frugal. You can do it. Absolutely you can do that. If you want to have a more lavish lifestyle, you work harder, you save more in your early years. Most people live within their means. It depends how lavish you want to be. I love the nut. The number I like that I strove for so long when I was young, I told my dad this and my mother, if only I could figure out a way to put $5 million aside. Mm-hmm. And I worked like hell to get that first 5. The rest was real easy after that.
Yeah. Do you think?
Once you have money, you can make money. That's the whole point.
Yeah. How critical do you think having that target locked in on? Like, even though it was a fantasy to you, you didn't know how to get there, you didn't know the mechanics, but you locked in on that 5 million. How important was that?
Gotta have that locked in number, because you know what happens is you're thinking about buying something and you got your nut, you got your number. And you say to yourself, do I really need this piece of crap? And the answer is no. I'm going to put it towards my target. I mean, you're teaching the right disciplines here. I don't care if your target's $1 million. I don't care if it's 500,000. You got to hit your target. And the way you do it is you have the discipline not to spend money on crap you don't need.
Yeah. So lock in on the target so the belt doesn't look as the belt, the trip, the car.
You don't need that stuff. Once you hit your target, you set a new one. You say, I want more.
Exactly.
I mean, look, that's the American way. I love it.
Kevin O'Leary, you've been generous with your time, man. Hold on for the VIPs, okay, Kevin, because I'm going to come back and do some Q&A. I want to let everybody go that I hope you guys appreciate this. Please post in comments what you like about Kevin. He is without a doubt my favorite shark, particularly tonight, okay? and Kevin, thank you so much for being here. And everybody here in the audience, if you want to be part of the Q&A, every night we're going to do a Q&A, and you get to actually send your Q&A. I'll give you a shout out, ask the question directly to Kevin. I'm going to do that for the next 20 minutes with him now. And how do they sign up for that if they want to be VIP?
So number one, we put together a little homework assignment.
Want to come this way so they can see you?
Yeah, so number one, we put together a little homework assignment for everybody. So if you go to grantcardone.com/homework, grantcardone.com/homework, you can download a little assignment for you that you can do before you show up for class tomorrow. The second thing is our team is going to be rolling through Facebook shares, and they're going to be picking out 20 people who shared the stream every day.
Or more. We might get more.
Every day we're going to be doing this. So just to get you guys prepared for how this is going to roll, we're going to bring on a guest. You're going to get some insights from them, and then we're going to break off into our VIP Q&A session. So everybody on Zoom right now, if you're in the Zoom room and you're not on one of the other social channels, start posting your comments in the chat, and then I'm going to come through and we're going to make sure that we get all these as many questions as we can answered for Kevin in the time that we have. Tomorrow, we have Sharon Lechter. She co-wrote the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It is the #1 selling financial book in history. Remarkable book. Even more so, she's a remarkable person.
Yeah.
So make sure that you guys come back here, same place, same time tomorrow, 5 p.m.
If you want to be part of the Q&A, grantcardone.com/VIP.
Yep.
What, Johnny? I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Hit the link, Grant Cardone, or there's a link there, grantcardone.com/VIP. I think it's $49 or something. How much is it?
$97.
For the VIP? $97. All that money goes to the Grant Cardone Foundation. Any of you that wanted to grab the workbooks, for all of you that bought the workbooks, the VIP, or what else?
All of that goes to the foundation.
All of it goes to the Grant Cardone Foundation. Every $10 donated to the Grant Cardone Foundation, I literally take that money that you guys spend on workbooks, the VIP portion, I take and match those dollars. Every $10 allows us to help a kid get Cardone University, and where we can start teaching kids about sales, marketing, social media, keep them busy so they're not out in the streets. Let's face it, the books they're being given today don't keep them interested. I want to help a bunch of kids. 10 years old, I started having problems in my life. At 15, I was lost. I didn't get back on the right track till I was 25. So I am committed to creating a life where I can raise a lot of funds. I think we raised $200,000 for kids this weekend. That'll help 2,000 children. 2,000 or 20,000? 20,000 kids. I can reach 20,000 kids. So grantcardone.com/VIP is $97. You get access to the questions each night, to the private chat after the 1 hour I do with our guest. $1 million challenge, okay? We're going to be actually reaching out to those of you who have your big spikes and spurts, awakenings, and we're going to invite you to be part of a $1 million challenge over the next 90 days. I'm going to literally work with you for 90 days and then another 9 months to see how big we can grow your net worth. I did a $5.5 million with no help, no name, no social media in a town during COVID called Pueblo, Colorado. And I did $5.5 million. Imagine what I could have done with some help. Imagine what I could have done as Grant Cardone. Imagine what I could have done if I'd have been with Kevin O'Leary and Jordan Peterson, and if I had my friends and my network and my social media. That's what I want to do with you guys. We're going to take some of you and offer you an opportunity to literally spend the next 9 months with us so that we can take you from wherever you are to wherever you want to go. Thank you for being here today. If you want to be part of the VIB, I'm going to transition to that now. But tomorrow night, 5 p.m. sharp, I'll be with Sharon Lecter.
Short and quick.
Okay?
Just make the commitment. Show
Just
up.
make the commitment. 60 minutes. Give me 60 minutes a night. And then tomorrow night is Sharon Lecter. Wednesday night is Magic Johnson. Thursday night is Stormy Wellington. Phenomenal story. Mind-blowing, boggling, crazy, whack story.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson's
Chris
on
Voss.
Friday.
Yep.
Saturday? Do I do Saturday?
Chris
too?
Voss, yeah.
I'm working all week, folks. I don't know what y'all doing, but I'm working, okay? And I'm working for you guys. I want you guys to have what I have and what my friends have. So I'll see you back tomorrow night at 5 o'clock. Let's go to our VIP session.
And everybody show some love in the chat for Kevin O'Leary and thank him for being here on your way out. Okay.